Another day in Moscow started with a morning walk in a park to get some fresh air. And then there was an invitation for a Russian style breakfast for blini, pancakes that I have got addicted to. It's my new guilty pleasure. And lots of green tea. This boiling water chamber perfectly explains what you need to deal with cold in Moscow. While we were enjoying a slow morning in this cafe, we saw some people doing an unusual sport. At least pretty unusual for me, as I'm born and raised in Saudi Arabia and I have never seen this sport before. And the next thing you know, we are doing this sport. Gloves, check. Helmet, check. Rollers, check. But we needed an instructor. Ruslan found one and she agreed to teach us. I had a hard time trying to balance myself on the rollers for the very first time. Also, she didn't speak English very well, so most of our communication was in Ringlish, mix of Russian and English. We had a training for an hour and then headed back to the car. And all I was thinking was about this new strange sport experience, which I never had before. It reminded me of a very funny fact that I want to share with you guys.
It just reminded me of the fact that when I used to live in China, I remember I didn't know how to ride a bicycle, and China's the place where I learned riding a bicycle for the first time, because people were riding bicycle left and right, and I was the only one who didn't know how to ride a bicycle. I felt very alienated, and I remember meeting anybody and they say, "You don't know how to ride a bicycle? How come? It's like walking." And I was like, okay. And then I went to Turkey, and I remember when I went to the beach for the first time and I said, "I can't swim." And I heard people saying, "You don't know how to swim? It's like walking." It's like you don't know how to walk. And I remember I gave a try to learn swimming. Still I can float a bit, but not really good, but I got rid of my fear. And in Russia, I remember when I told my classmates I can't do skating, and it's like, "You can't do skating, it's like walking." So it turned out that I didn't know how to walk in 3 different countries at least. So this time on this visit to Russia, I decided to give it a try and learn to skate and ski maybe, and just give it a try to learn, so I'm qualified as somebody who knows like walking in Russia.
I kept thinking about it, going deeper and deeper in my thoughts, trying to understand how my geographical upbringing contributed to what skill set I grew up with, and how it made me different from others.
It had a lot to do being born and raised in a country like Saudi Arabia, that too so long ago, which now has changed a lot, but 10 years back or even more, 20 years back, it was a very different country. You don't really experience all these activities, especially outdoorsy activities, especially for women. Now it's a different story. Now it's becoming very developed. It has developed a lot, and especially for women. But yeah, that's how I see that when you grow up, you have to not only reinvent yourself, you have to recreate yourself, and you have to kind of make yourself experience things which you didn't get a chance to experience earlier, and it's kind of your own responsibility. And it sounds cool that I do have these choices now that I can make, and I can learn anything. Doesn't matter if I didn't learn it when I was a child. So
This thought gave me a little closure and a bit of calm. Sometimes Ruslan and I talk about our childhood experiences, the culture and environment we grew up in, and we realize we came from 2 different worlds. Yet, here we are, sharing a space. and creating a space of our own. Because we turn into adults with a similar view of life, and despite our differences in background, our minds matched. Too much of philosophical talk, right? Well, that's me, a philosophical chatterbox. Well, in the evening, we decided to go to a big shopping mall, a bit outside Moscow. This area is called Zelenograd, and it lies in the extension of Moscow, which is called Moscow region. Of course, IKEA has left Moscow after sanctions, but there are many local options. Local brands have already overtaken the market. Life somehow goes on. And I found out that one of the Turkish restaurant chains has already extended to Moscow. In Turkey, it is called Tavuk Dünyası. I highly recommend it. We were pretty tired, especially from the morning cardio, so decided to call it a day. Because next day I had to continue my registration process, a story for another day.